gunman, a 19-year-old Clifton Hill man, moved
when
down
all
Hoddle
hell
Street.
broke loose on Hoddle Street.
Victoria has suffered the most appalling night of violence in its history.
The carnage and confusion of Hoddle Street as violence erupted just a few kilometres from the centre of the city late on a Sunday night. The silence was broken by a volley of shots fired from this intersection. It was 9:37 on the 9th of August, 1987. 7 people killed, 19 injured, as teenager Julian Knight, a failed army officer, took his anger to the streets.
We believe that at least 3 weapons are involved, 2 high-powered rifles and a shotgun.
His victims were motorists, cyclists and commuters.
I suppose literally dragged the patient quickly out to a safe area where they could carry out their procedures properly.
Others were just good Samaritans.
As we drove down Hoddle Street, we saw something that looked like a car accident. There were guys lying on the road, blood everywhere.
Steve White was working here at the Collingwood Leisure Centre, just opposite the Clifton Hill railway station that night, when he witnessed the murder of Vesna Markovska. He phoned the police and then came out here to see if he could try and help. It was right at this point when 2 men walked past him. They were both shot by Julian Knight 20 metres from him. He then went over to see if he could try and help them when he too was shot.
The head was a shotgun that just grazed my forehead, and the chest was a .222 rifle that punctured my right lung, shattered my rib, and I still have the bullet in my back under my shoulder blade.
TV editor Andre Switzer was a young camera assistant arriving to report the story and caught up in the action. So it was right across this area?
It's sort of from about where the station is, down the road here, there was cars and bodies and vehicles that had just stopped, obviously people that were wounded from the shooting.
2 police officers, Constables John Delahunty and Ralph Lockman, had tracked Julian Knight down Queen's Parade, here into McKean Street and then into this alleyway. It was 10:15 p.m. They tried to arrest him, but there was more gunfire as we heard this dramatic police recording over the radio.
We're off Russell Crescent, about 200 metres to the left. Have a offender and a weapon.
Roger, you have the offender.
He's been shot with a bloody automatic weapon.
The name Julian Knight, I can see your reaction there. How do you feel about him?
I feel nothing for him. He doesn't deserve any of my thoughts. It's more of what happened on the night, how his actions destroyed many lives. It's a place that changed my life completely, and not for the better.
20 years on from that night, but this isn't a milestone the survivors would choose to remember. Many of them have never been back to Hoddle Street. They'd rather forget. Ahron Young, Sky News, Melbourne.